look at what we're doing here. So Estage is a business. It's an idea, right? Just like your business is an idea. And then I want to build a community around the idea of Estage. Happens to be decentralized, hub-centric business platform, business model, right? And so as a business, all we are in business of is to build a customer base, okay? We're not in business to sell products. That's a byproduct. Just like you, like, so hopefully when I talk about some of these things to you guys right now, and as I speak, read between the lines of what I'm telling you, because there's going to be some lessons that you will glean from what I'm telling you here, okay? So if anybody's like, what are you in business of? Look at Apple. Apple is not in business of selling iPhones and computers. Apple is in business of building a community. Okay, you guys understand that, yeah? Everybody gets it. So if you want to be a $1 trillion company, and by the way, if you're thinking, who am I to be a $1 trillion company? Well, just ask, I don't know, Jeff Bezos, who just had a wedding. I don't know, how much did it cost him? 50 million, some people say 60, some people say 40, who knows? It's all rumors, right? Whatever. But it was pretty penny. But then again, is that really? But here's a big major lesson. While everybody is gossiping about how much, Jeff Bezos spent on his wedding, blah, 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 right? Nelly says 54 million. Nelly is staying on top of the gossip news, right? Nelly? A lot of people like, how unfair, how dare he spend that much on wedding? He can feed so many poor people, blah, 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 blah. While most people subscribe to that camp, which is just being what everybody else is being, right? Just being like everybody else, okay? Be a smart entrepreneur and look at what's happening. Guys like Bezos, look at his origin story, right? Look at how he started Amazon. He was a regular dude, right? He took an enormous risk. He went against the grain, right? He did what his family was opposing, right? His friends called him crazy. He was ridiculed in the media for how long? I don't know, 20 years, something like that, right? His early investors started to, rally against him because they thought he was just a big scam, because Amazon did not turn profit in the first almost 2 decades. Okay, but he started selling books, licking stamps, okay, sealing the boxes on his knees, one book at a time. This is what you guys need to be paying attention to. Where everybody else is gossiping now about how unfair, blah, 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 and everybody's going crazy over counting his money now, look at how this guy started. And then, once you're done that, okay, look at the history of the biggest companies in the world. Literally, this is how you can get inspired, and this is how you can raise yourself above this noise, above this, sea of the sameness, and just really think creatively and operate from inspiration instead of desperation, okay? So, here's the thing. Everybody's business is an idea. You're starting a business, it's your idea, it's your baby. You might have to lick stamps by hand and metaphorically speaking, right? Do the grunt work, whatever. But everybody has every great thing has a small, humble beginning. Every great thing. And so people that can endure these things can do something really, really great. So when I look at anything, if there is an idea in your head about whatever you want to do, okay, never, ever, ever, ever limit yourself in thinking, who am I to pull it off? Like, we're building Estage right now. We're going up against companies like Circle.so for communities, and Circle is very inferior to Estage in many ways because they don't have front end. They don't have the whole brand. They're a centralized community platform, and they're great at just one thing, which is communities. Okay, and then you still have to duct tape it to like a funnel builder and a website, front, back end, and payment process, that type of stuff, right? So we're going up against that, but never in a million years did I think we cannot pull it off. The moment I made a decision to do something, I never ever think why it's not going to work. I always think of how can we make it work? How can we pull it off? What creative ideas can we implement? What detours, if any, do we need to do? If there's an obstacle, can we go around it, on top of it, below it, underneath it? Can we swim over it? Can we break through it? What can we do? Day and night. That's how my brain works, right? As an entrepreneur, you should be the most creative person in your business. You should be the most enthusiastic person about your business, and you should be your own biggest cheerleader. I cannot want your success more than you want it for yourself. You guys understand that, right? When the whole world is going to tell you this is not going to work, when the whole world and your family and your loved ones and your friends and people that that love you and what have you, right? Where everybody's going to tell you to quit. If deep in your heart you have that vision, you might be the only person in the world to feel that. Go after that feeling and not somebody else's opinion. If somebody else had a better opinion, if they're doing better than you, maybe they can give you an advice. But if they're doing less, if they're not getting the results that you want, if they're not changing the world with their ideas, make sense? You go after yours, because only you know what's in your heart, put by God, and only you can pull it off. And so that's a little side lesson. With that said, let's talk about this. Every business is an idea, and you're in business to grow a customer base and build a community around your vision. That's it. Selling of the product is a byproduct of your vision, distributing your vision. That's how you distribute your vision. Okay? And if your vision is noble, if you're set out to do something that's, that helps a lot of people, it is your duty, it's your responsibility to get that vision, aka your products, into as many people's hands in the world as you possibly can. Day and night you should be thinking about that. Make sense? And so to the degree that you do that, will you get rewarded with this thing called money? It's nothing more than certificate of appreciation. It's a great lesson I learned from the late Bob Proctor. He said, I guess he learned it from somebody else, and they said, is it a sin to be poor? Yeah, controversial thing, right? Christians will say it absolutely is sinful to be poor, right? But he says, look, if money is a reward for services rendered, and if you are doing a lot of services that's actually good services in the world and you're getting rewarded for it, and you're not doing that service, aren't you contributing to somebody else's misery by not solving their problem? Helping them solve their problem. Does that make sense? And so in so doing, you get rewarded. So money is nothing more than just a measuring stick of how much value you are delivering out there in the marketplace. The end. I'm not talking about illegal stuff. I'm not talking about some stuff that, people should not be doing. But I'm talking about actual value in the marketplace with rewarded by people's certificate of appreciation. Make sense? So your business has to be centered around one thing: bringing as many people around your idea as possible.